Josh, how does the offense change without Devin? Obviously, Malachi and Antonio are capable backs, but you have one less threat in the backfield.
Yeah, for sure. So I think the number one thing is depth, right? And so the biggest change is we've got to get some young guys ready to go. If we do have to go to that possibility. So we got to develop depth. We've been working Jerron a lot. He's done a really nice job. He's young, but he's going to be a good player. He's strong and talented, and physically he's ready. We just got to catch his mental up where he's ready to go. But he's getting better at that every day. But I don't know that a lot changes without Mock. I did really love some of the things with Mock out of the backfield, and some of the little plays he's caught out in the flat, different things as a receiver this year. But we did kind of the same thing with Malachi Thomas to score the last touchdown there that we scored Saturday night. So I don't think a lot will change, but I think I don't think a lot will change from how we're playing. I think the number one thing it does change is he's a great person, and his leadership, certainly you feel that.
The fourth down play at midfield, what didn't happen there? Was it the push? Was it Peyton not being patient enough with Malachi? It seemed like he was taken off before he even had the ball. Clearly, you're just trying to get 2 yards there, but it was a breakdown.
Well, listen, if you go watch the play, it's not hard to figure out. We're pulling left, and Malachi went right, and he thought he could, and there was a hole backside, but we on the backside were hinging back, so the hole was going to get closed, and he just made a split-second decision that didn't turn out to be the best one, and that's what happened. I'd call the play again. I'd call it with him again. I think if we would have executed properly, I think we would have gotten the first down.
What's the balance right now between keeping the Malachi package in there and the unpredictability that comes with that, but then also potentially at this stage of a season putting him in there to run the offense in a more, I guess, conventional way, just to see what you've got there and give him that experience for if he needs it next season? Sure.
Right now, I mean, our plan is what you see on the field. Ryan is our starter, and he's made mistakes this season, but overall he's had a really productive season and done well for his first year to be a starter. But Ryan would tell you, and I would tell you too, that we'd be the first to tell you we can play better. There was Saturday night, there was three plays that are really just base technique for him, and if we could take those back, I mean, they probably change the game, in a way that where we would have an opportunity really to win the game there at the end, and that is the way it is with every play. But to answer your question about Malachi, Ryan's our starter. We're using Malachi the way we're using him, and the better, the more and more he plays, the more comfortable we feel with him calling plays. And so I think we've got a really good balance right now. We've been able to insert him and use him in some situations, some situational football that's given us an advantage, because obviously when he comes in, he can run, and he made some nice runs down in the red zone the other night. You saw us kind of taking them in, moving them out, taking them in. And I think part of that multiplicity, gives us an advantage of how they're going to, or maybe them not knowing for sure how we're going to play him.
Teams now have 9 games of film on Ryan from this season, a couple from previous seasons. Are you starting to see that effect come into how defenses are attacking him, and what does that mean for him as far as a developing quarterback who's got to probably adjust to new things he sees each week?
Yeah, not really. Most people are just playing as how they play, and then each week you have to fit your scheme into their scheme and be able to make the reads and the adjustments of how you're going to deliver the football to your players, and more than anything, that's the maturing process, right? That the more times you see it, the more reps you get at it. Just the faster you get doing it, the better you get doing it, the better your eyes see it, and the quicker you move on, you stay in great body position to deliver the ball, and it's really just technical fundamentals with Ryan is where we're taking the next step right now.
Josh, Ohio State, the #1 scoring defense in America. 6.8 points per game. How are you going to score against these guys?
By crossing the goal line.
That'll do it.
No, Tom, Yeah, it's a huge challenge. Like, I think that's really the question, you know, what's the challenge? The challenge is to do just what we did last week, and it's to take the things that are there that they give you because they are really good. They're not gonna give you much. I think their secondary is really well coached. I think their secondary is, really talented. You know, they play zone, but they pattern match all your routes. So they're gonna practice whatever you do the most, they're gonna try to take that away, kinda in an NFL model. So things you think might be there in cover 2 or might be there in cover 3 that normally are there, they're gonna try to pattern match it and take it away. And so I think they're a huge challenge. And then you get to the front 7 and they've got some guys up there that are, you know, projected to be, you know, some of the top guys in the country when it comes to the draft and some of those things. So, but I'll tell you this, this is my experience coaching and playing. You know, I had an opportunity to play against some great players in college and obviously coach against some great players. When you play against a really good player, this is just the truth of football, and you see it all across the nation every single day. You saw it Saturday night in our game. The teams weren't that much different. And the truth of football is a great player across from you is probably physically gonna kinda get you 4 or 5 times a game. And if there's 75 plays in that game, the other 70 are just gonna come down to technique and just doing what you do every day. So when you hear coaches say it's really about us, not them, that's really what they're saying. It's, yeah, those 5 plays, yeah, he's a great player. Yeah, he got me. You know, those other 70 is gonna be how you do it, how consistently you execute your technique, and that's what we gotta be focused on.
I know you like to sprinkle in Malachi, and he brings different skill set. Is there anything, the notion where when you take Ryan out, maybe he sort of loses his mojo, he's maybe in a rhythm, and all of a sudden he's coming to the sideline to stand for a few plays? Is there any of that at all?
No, not really. In fact, I would tell you the opposite. I think it sometimes gives Ryan a chance to breathe and come to the sideline and see the game and kind of watch it and get a little chance to take a little breather, and Malachi take a few plays. And what I've really noticed, I think it's really a good thing for Ryan. And I think those 2 guys, I mean, they room together on the road. And when I walk into the room on Friday nights for a bed check, I mean, they're sitting there going through the game plan and talking about all the stuff, and they're asking me questions and they're laughing together. And I think those guys are both sincerely invested in each other's success. So it's really fun to see. I know that sounds too good to be true, but it's really what it is. And I really feel the opposite. I think it gives Ryan a chance to take a deep breath, and Malachi usually goes in there and moves the ball and does well, and he comes back in and everything's good.
How would you evaluate the tight end play ever since George Burns got out with his injury?
Well, we've been specific to certain situations. We have guys that have skill sets, although they don't possess the entire range of skill sets. So what we try to do is to fit those guys into those situations. Now, you can't get so specific that the defense knows, obviously, that, hey, every time this guy's in, it's this. Every time this guy's in, it's this. And so you'll see us interchanging those guys a lot to get them into plays where we think that they can help the offense have success.
How special teams complemented the offense here the last couple of weeks. You get some good returns, good field position. Obviously, the luxury of, you know, you get a penalty, but you have a guy who can kick a 50-yarder.
Yeah, no question. You know, it really, again, you know, you look at Saturday night, and this is where, you know, I think specifically in the first half, like some games like Minnesota, Rutgers, Michigan, where we missed opportunities, you know, to really give ourselves a chance to extend the lead or catch up or, you know, get back in front, really make it a lot tougher on the other team from an offensive execution standpoint. It really was the same way the other night. We missed 2 opportunities in the red zone, and then obviously had a sack on the next one, or the throwaway on the next one that became a penalty, and our kicker saved us. Because points, as you can see, all across the country, the games are getting closer and closer for the most part. And you just look at us, we've had some really close games and close losses this year, and you know, an extra 7 to 10 points in each one of those games would have came in really handy, you know, obviously. But I will say this too, like a few times, the other night, you know, it was really nice. We had a couple of 3 and outs where the punter too, like flipped the field, man. He had some big kicks, and our punt team did an unbelievable job in coverage. I thought that was one of the better, I know we had the one blemish, but I thought that was overall one of the better special teams games we played. And obviously, when you feel like you can get to the 35-yard line and you got a chance to get points, that's a nice feeling as when you're calling plays and running the offense.
On the 9.5 minute touchdown drive, you guys had 2 things there that have like sunk other drives this season: the holding penalty, the penalty that wipes off a touchdown. I know you're not right there with them, but did you see anything happening on that drive that was different that allowed that to be a success where maybe it hadn't been in the past?
Well, I think a little bit of our mentality going into this game was just that we know they had a good defense. It's going to be a lot the same way this Saturday. We know their defense is good, but the 6-7 yard gains are there. Maybe not the huge explosives. And we all have to get up and high five each other after a 5-yard gain. Like, that was awesome. And that has to be our mentality. That's not like a bad play. It's a good play, because if we can just keep 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards moving down the field, obviously it's going to give us a chance to get points at the end of that drive. So I think a little bit of that mentality that we had going into that game, it was really nice to see. To your point, exactly, the guys, like, we had something bad happen and we just flipped the switch, like, next play, here we go, we're going to go get 5 more yards, 6 more yards, and you kind of look at that drive, that's what happened. I think after the penalty, the touchdown callback, we ran over the left, got 5 or 6 yards, then we ran another play, you know, and then we just kind of got back down there, and we had the 3rd down where we got the penalty. For us, we got them a jump, and then the pass interference, and obviously went and converted. So I think that mentality going into the game helped us get to that point.
More questions for Coach Henson?